So for the benefit of those who are going to be flying this airplane next, I'm going to go over a few things here that, we went through these things prior on the ground and in flight, but, the canopy lock over here, make sure that canopy's locked. If you need to get out of the airplane, or you think you're going to need to get out of the airplane, take that lock out. All of these switches are normally on, fuel level, Skyview, Autopilot, and the comm radios. The batteries, you can leave both the batteries and both the fuel pumps on all the time, but it's good to, turn one of each off and then switch back and forth every now and then, just to make sure, that you're not overusing the things that you really don't need. You really don't need both of them in flight. And cycling them on and off gives you a chance to make sure they're both working properly. And, then over here you got the 12-volt lighter socket over here. That turns that on. That's a spare in op right now. That's the heat low and heat high. I've got it on low right now. And then the transponder on. So up here, it says transponder 1200 altitude. Has an R for receiving. It's blinking on and off. Right now I have the autopilot turned on, so the AP, it says AP, and the two arrows are facing either way saying that it's working. Right now it's tracking the GPS, so it's tracking the course line on the GPS. It's holding an altitude of 6,500 feet. And to see that, if I push the back button until I get to autopilot, I press autopilot, right now it's on HSI plus altitude, so it's following the track line and holding altitude. If I pressed track plus altitude, it would track whatever heading I had the airplane on, and it would not, follow a course line. Level is just, if you get yourself in a situation where maybe you're inadvertently to the clouds or something like that, and you just want to get the wings level, you hit the level button, and it should level the airplane out within a certain amount of reason. It also has a 180-degree button. Again, if you get yourself into that kind of trouble, you could hit the 180 button and try to, have it make a 180 and get out of what you just got into. So now I'm going to go back to map, and I've got things like direct to, nearest, info, flight plan layers, etc. So I'm going to zoom in here because it is a touch screen, and right now I can see some traffic on here. So here's traffic going that way. It says -29, so that's 2,900 feet, now 3,000 feet below me. Another bit of traffic over here, and that says it's 1,900 feet below me. Right now there's a 12-mile ring around here because that's where I just zoomed into. If I want to find out some information on the map, I can just tap somewhere on the map. In this case, I tapped on an airport. It gives me some basic information here about where it is, how far away, how long it would take to get there, what its altitude, what its elevation is. If I hit info, it gives me some more information about that. Then right now it's on airport, tells me things like Unicom, elevation, it's set. COM pops up the AWAS, the Unicom departure and approach in this case. If I wanted to put the Unicom frequency over here on the standby of the radio, and make sure Unicom is highlighted, and then I just hit tune COM down here, and that'll go onto the flip-flop on the bottom. If there's any weather around, it gives me weather. Right now it says the wind is 150 degrees at 5 knots, 10 statute miles of visibility, sky is clear, temperature is 16 degrees Celsius. Altimeter is 30.38, which is what we have set right now. And then it gives me runway information. So runways 05 and 23, 3,995 feet by 75 feet, a hard surface in good condition, flights medium level, left traffic. On 1331, 2,745 by 100 feet, hard surface in fair condition, no lights, left traffic. Remark, it'll give you some remarks that are typically in the AFD. Once you're done viewing all that stuff, you can hit the X up there, or you can just hit exit, and you're back here. Now it's still showing the information. Wherever you touch your finger on the screen, it will give you that little crosshairs, and that's the information that it's giving you up here. So if you're done with all that information, you can just tap that, and it goes away, and the airplane is recentered in the center of the screen. I can zoom in if I want to. So here's some traffic that's behind me and 3,900 feet below me. He's probably heading to that airport that's just behind and to the right of me. If I hit flight plan down here on the screen, right now I'm direct to current airport. telling me I'm 55.7 miles away, which it's also telling me on the screen over here, but it's giving my estimated time en route of 26 minutes. Again, I can hit exit and come out. So again, it's showing me direct to waypoint 55.2 miles, says that right here, 55.1 now. It also says it over here. It says we're in direct to mode. Right now it says ADSB OK, meaning the ADSB is working. Right now we've got a true airspeed of 118 knots, ground speed of 126 knots, 107 knots indicated. Down here it's telling me winds. It's got an arrow pointing that way, so I've got some winds on my tail at about 79 degrees and 08 knots. So that gives me a slight left crosswind of 2 knots. That gives me a crosswind number back there. Right now this is on baro, so barometric altimeter, so as long as it's on baro, as I turn that knob, it's going to change my altimeter setting. Based on the temperature outside, which is 46 degrees, it gives me a density altitude right now of 6,612 feet, and I'm currently flying at 6,500 feet on the autopilot. And then you can see all of the flight instruments here. So that's kind of a lot of the stuff in a nutshell. Good to have another pilot along with you when you're learning this stuff, so that one person can be flying and or looking outside, and the other person is fiddling with the knobs and figuring out what to do. Over on the right side here, so this is the flip-flop button. If I press this, it's going to flip between the two frequencies. My current frequency is up top. It's also got tower, ATIS, ground, and ATC buttons that you can press. Down here, this is for the intercom. So this is the squelch for both the radio and the intercom down here. This is the volume for the intercom. So the two of you here, and if you have music piped into the MP3, like I do, that's going to do the in-cockpit volume higher and lower, and that includes the music. Up here, this is the volume knob for the radio that you're hearing receiving outside the aircraft. So if you're not hearing much or not expecting much, you can turn that down. You can turn the music up, play with the squelch. If you're going to do the radio manually, then the outer big button right here is the one that changes the like 124, 123, and then the smaller button on the outside here that says 0.700. Now I turn it 0.725. 0.750, I'll turn it back to 0.70, there we go. Alright, that's kind of the way everything's working.
Traffic.
Right now it's telling me there's traffic underneath me, basically, by 1,000 feet, going that way. He's turning just a little bit that way.